You got a nice statement there.
Throw a shoe or a boot, give Bush the boot.
Give Bush the boot.
Yeah. 50 cents a shoe. Throw a shoe at Bush.
Barbara, you got some shoes there too, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And your sign says Blumenauer, a traitor to the oath.
Well, it can be Bush and Cheney too.
Oh yeah, all of them.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't have Blumenauer.
It does say Blumenauer at the top, right? Yeah. The shoes and
Yeah.
oh, the shoe there it says right there to Cheney on the bottom of that one, and it probably says to Bush. Yep. Okay. Bush has got blood on his hands. I like your sign there too, Glenn. I noticed you got a piece for Gaza there.
9/11 Truth is related to all these things. If I hadn't been making it in such a hurry, it would say free Gaza. This is just what came up, and I did it for the other session.
Very good. And the reason you say 9/11, that because it's like a sort of an impeachment group here, right? And you're bringing in the 9/11 because it's all tied together, right?
Yeah, it's all tied together.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. People have different reasons, have a schedule of priorities for their reasons. This is the top of my list of priorities. But all the other reasons are just as legitimate. This is just what I'm pushing.
Yeah, and I think if you start connecting the dots, you'll see how they're all tied together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the center of this sign was designed to have something else put in there.
Nice.
But it should say free Gaza.
Peace for Gaza is okay.
It's okay.
I mean, we wouldn't mind that either, would we?
No.
Thanks, Glenn.
Unless it meant that everybody's dead. That would be peaceful.
In some people's mind, that may be what they're thinking. That seems to be what they're going to be, what they're trying for. Kill them all and we'll have some peace. That doesn't make sense.
Nothing more peaceful than a planet encased in nuclear winter for 500 billion years.
Hi guys. Hey, hey, hey. What's that say, Joe?
It says,
Arrest Bush and Cheney.
arrest Bush and Cheney. We have turned the page. Impeachment protest is over. Now we're going for the arrest and conviction and punishment.
Uh-huh. That's right.
And on the 20th, there will be hundreds, if not thousands, of these shirts in front of the FBI building, and Bush has to pass it. And he's going to have to look at thousands of people.
Now, are you saying a bunch of people are going to be wearing shirts just like that?
Yeah, in Washington, D.C., MoveOn.org, and also after Downing Street. I know after Downing Street, I'm not so sure about MoveOn. But they're the ones that are pushing this. David Swanson, who's really a really cool guy, they're pushing it. They're going to line up. They're going to make Bush watch this. Hundreds, if not thousands.
And get that message out to the people.
They had the permit right in front of the FBI building.
Whoa.
Which is really cool.
Wow.
So Bush, everybody should watch about 11 o'clock. That's when Bush and Obama will head towards the Capitol.
About 11 o'clock?
Yeah, strangely enough, I think the Constitution calls for him taking the oath of office at high noon. Which
11,
is
you're talking 11 o'clock Eastern time.
No, high noon.
Yeah, but
everybody should
Eastern
start
time.
watching at 11 o'clock Eastern time, which is 8 o'clock here.
Okay, so if we want to see it here in Portland, Oregon, we're going to be looking around 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock in the morning.
Uh-huh. And that fine point was brought out by, hi John.
The timekeeper.
Yeah.
9 o'clock, the inauguration speech at 9 o'clock Portland time.
9 o'clock Portland.
Okay.
The only disadvantage of living on the West Coast is we have to get up a little bit early.
Marilyn's got some shoes in recognition of throw a shoe at Bush.
I did. I threw them at him up there.
You've already thrown some?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He dodged him.
He's dodging lots of things.
We brought the chicken down. We got the chicken.
Oh, the rubber chickens are back?
Senator Reid and Speaker Pelosi. And I think that Senator Reid is in trouble. I could see him falling in the next couple of years. I don't know about Pelosi.
You mean falling out of favor and just...
That's right. He's the majority leader in the Senate. And this last fiasco with the governor of Illinois seating Barris, is that his name? Barris, who is a really good guy from all indications, appointed by a sitting governor. That was the only question Reid should have asked. Does he have the authority to do it? And is this guy a good guy? And once you make yes to those questions, it's over, folks. And I'm not even a lawyer. Reid, I think you're a lawyer. So now they swore him in this morning. He was sworn in this morning. So he is the junior senator from Illinois. And I get these instant notifications every time Blumenauer casts a vote. So, one of the things that I noticed, which was really delightful, and people in Portland and Oregon should be really excited about this. First time in a long time, I saw a vote that was cast by both senators from Oregon, a yes vote that cares about the environment. And if Gordon Smith was still in there, he would have nullified Wyden's vote. So instead of a 0, which Gordon Smith did about 1,500 times, we got 2 plus 2. We are a state that talks. We got 2 votes.
That's good.
These are millions and millions of acres of land that they combine into one big bill. And our senators, 2 Democrats, voted for it. And you know that Gordon Smith would have voted against that in a New York minute.
I like that.
Yep. That was exciting.
Yeah.
And also, John and I, we stopped in, we said goodbye to the staff.
Oh, you walked in and said goodbye?
We said goodbye. They seemed really glad to see us.
Who was at the desk? Was it that one gentleman, younger guy, who's been in there a lot?
But Willie came out to talk to us.
Uh-huh.
And we said goodbye, and we thanked them for their patience. It's been a long battle. We didn't win what we set out to do. But we, I think, put the seed in the ground that people have to start holding their representatives accountable. Because even if you don't win what you're going after, they get nervous. And what I always say is a nervous politician is a good politician. Keep them nervous. And they'll watch what they do. They'll read the stuff. They won't just say, oh, well, the speaker says I vote this way, so I'll vote this way. They'll look at it and say, my constituents want me to do this, and that's what I'm going to do.
And they're letting me know.
And they are letting me know by petition, by phone call, by protest, by being in the news media, by running against me. They will let me know.
Right.
And every one of the 435 should feel that. People in the districts, even if you think you got the best congressman in the world, should call them at least once a month and say, what are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
Staff will talk to you. As long as you're not obnoxious, even if they don't agree with you, they'll talk to you.
It's being civically involved.
We don't live in a democracy like we had in Sparta or Athens in Greece. We live in a republic. That means we send people to Washington to represent us. And you have to watch those people because they get arrogant after a while. They think they're more important than their constituents. And you have to say to them, hey, stop the killing. Stop the killing.
Yeah. Joe, we've been, this is our last time out here protesting in front of Blumenauer's.
However, we are going to do something Tuesday.
On the 20th, on the big day of office change.
Yeah, and what we're going to do is we're all going to get together can have some coffee.
Are we going to meet here, or where is everybody going to meet?
We're not going to do it here because we ran into a problem. Living on the West Coast, it starts at 8 o'clock.
Oh yeah,
it's
so
11 o'clock the parade, and everybody should watch that because they're going to watch Bush go by everybody.
Yeah, and see those great shirts. Yeah, yep. So
what we decided to do is to meet and have coffee and donuts, and off camera I'll tell you where we're going to meet.
Oh, okay, cool. And I got that whole day set aside. No work, no nothing, just to enjoy the new presidency and throw some shoes around.
Now, we were supposed to go to court on Monday, but
the Santa Claus arrest?
The big arrest of Santa was supposed to be on Monday. I got the letter probably 4 months ago to appear in court on Monday morning. Somebody finally figured out it's a holiday.
Monday's Martin Luther King's birthday.
It's a holiday. So the courts are closed. So our DA should really get a new calendar, because the calendar he's using is really bad.
Yeah.
So it's been postponed for another couple of weeks. And we're going to have some problems with that because we have some health problems that the judge is going to have to contend with. Both Sarah and I are not doing well physically, so we'll see.
Okay. Well, that's the update.
But they did drop the charges down to refusing a lawful order by a policeman. Now, here's the catch on this, and I'm not a lawyer. There were two charges, one blocking the building, and the other one refusing an order by a police officer, a probation officer, somebody with authority. They dropped the first charge, so the blocking doesn't exist anymore. So how can you prosecute somebody to refuse an order when you have to say he refused the order to stop blocking the building, but we didn't charge him with blocking the building? So I'm not a lawyer, but that seems to me to be a psychological acquittal.
It almost appears they've written that you're being charged with something, and yet you're being charged with not obeying an order that says that you're breaking the law, and yet there is no charge on breaking the law. So if there's no charge on breaking the law, how can you be disobeying an order?
Right.
Yeah, kind of tricky.
Well, see, that's our either city attorney or DA who's ever prosecuting this thing. I guess it's the DA. He's got a bad calendar because he scheduled it on a holiday, and he also can't read the law. The law says you have to break the law before an officer can give you an order. He can't say to you, for instance, you're not walking fast enough. He can say you have to stand 10 feet away from a building for smoking. Say that. But if he arrests you, he has to arrest you for smoking.
Yeah.
If you're not smoking, he can't say you got to get 10 feet away from the building, and that's what they're charging us for. So the whole thing is so ridiculous and a waste of time that I think what the judge should do is say, okay, you got to do community service and you got to do 20 hours of protest. Pick your time and place. Any protest you want to go to.
That's community service.
That's community service.
Yeah.
And just make sure that who's ever leading the protest signs a little piece of paper that you were there. And we'll bring it back to the judge and say, see, we did our community service, Your Honor.
Yeah. Well, good.
Anyway, you get the feeling that I'm excited. There's some really interesting things happening. Obama is doing some interesting things. He invited the minister who thinks that gays are terrible people to give the invocation at his swearing in. And we were all really angry over that. But yesterday they announced that the Episcopal bishop, who is an open gay bishop, will give the invocation at the Lincoln Center, either the day before or 2 days before the swearing in. So, the right-wing minister is going to follow a gay, I think he's a bishop, a gay bishop in the Episcopal church was going to give it 2 days before him. So his prayer at the swearing in should be interesting. So if they did that by design, it's a great design. Because now the conservative minister can't get out of it. He's got to show up. Right? It's too late to get out. So that's kind of interesting. And also, they did an interesting thing by appointing the head of the CIA is now Panetta, who used to be the chief of staff under Clinton in the White House. The reason that that's so cool is because protocol calls for the president to go to the chairman of the Intelligence Committee and let them know who they're going to select. That's Feinstein coming in. Going out is Rockefeller, who knew about the torture and said nothing. Feinstein, who probably knew about the torture and said nothing, was not notified. It's a slap in the face. You don't forget that kind of stuff. You do it by design. And what they said to Feinstein is, I am the president, and I make foreign policy. And this foreign policy is over. Now, if he follows through on that, it's going to be a good year.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, you know, the old saying in the West Wing, the TV program, could be the guy. That's Toby, one of the characters, and they used to run around and say, wow, Bob, it could be the guy. He could be the guy. Well, Obama could be the guy. And everybody should help him as much as possible. And if he screws up, then we got to go after him, put the pressure on him. So we are now going from impeachment to indictment and incarceration. We'll fight that, and my hope is that everywhere Bush goes, somebody in the area will point their finger at him and say, murderer, murderer, war criminal, until he has to hide in his closet for the rest of his life, because that's where he belongs, in the dark.
Hide in the brush.
Yeah, I heard that possibly Obama was thinking about shutting Guantanamo down, and the last thing I just read through a Veterans for Peace website is that maybe up to 100 days, or there's some, that's getting pushed back a little bit.
All right, but you got to give him a little room on this, because it is complicated. There are some people at Guantanamo that have to be locked up. Right? We don't know who the hell they are, because nobody's been tried.
Yeah.
We don't know what the evidence against people are. But let's say out of 200, I think there's 270 left. 10% of them are really bad guys, really bad people, and you got direct evidence, and you didn't torture them, and you didn't beat them, and you can bring them to trial and if found guilty. What is it that we do with them?
Yeah.
So that's a problem. Now, you got some people that apparently the nations that we normally would send them back to don't want them. So what do we do with them?
Or they may torture them when they get back themselves, worse than they've been tortured, or as bad as. Or no, wait, just an interruption here. Oh, John's leaving. We're back to work?
Back to work.
You spent your lunch hour out here?
Well, a little bit more.
You could.
We went to see Willie. Joe almost gave his life for the cause. I didn't make every week.
Well, I didn't make every week either.
I did for a while. I had like 26 or 27 string together.
I was going strong until I ended up in the ICU.
Yeah. Well, between all of us, somebody was down here with standing up for this issue.
Every Thursday was coming.
And I think we were out here for about a year and a half, roughly. So
it started in August. So you can do the math.
Mm-hmm.
We started in August, maybe late July, but I think it was August. So it's about a year and a half.
Well, we were out here before August because we had the deal with Earl at the Hollywood Theater was August, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it must be July.
Maybe July or something.
We were out earlier in the summer than August.
Yeah, I was just reading something on your website that talked about either July or August.
Yeah.
That we started, and we kept our word. We said that we would be consistent, we would be dignified. We believe that Blumenauer does some good stuff, and he's doing some good stuff.
There's some things.
We also believe that everybody in the United States should hold their congressman accountable. And if he does something that really angers you, Pick up a sign and stand outside his office for a while. You want to get notice? Pick up a sign. You'll get notice.
Yeah.
And when people violate their oaths, which the president, vice president, and everyone in their administration did, and by complicity, people that voted for the war got into that business, and by standing on their hands when they had the power to take them out, members of Congress did. So it's unforgivable. But the state of the country today would be different had they stepped up when the election happened in 2006. And, you know, Earl told me. He said no one in Washington wants to hear anything about impeachment. I said, well, you're going to hear it from me from here on out, pal. And he has.
That's true. He has. Everywhere he's gone, he looks to see if we're there.
And often enough, you are.
And a lot of times I am. We are. Somebody's there. Maybe not me, but somebody's there. With an impeachment shirt on, with an impeachment sign. So for a year and a half, he's been followed around. I mean, I get email from people that say, did you know that Earl was going to? And did you know that so-and-so is going to throw a fundraiser for Earl? And we go, we don't do a whole bunch of people, we do 2 or 3, just to greet him.
And get the message, let them know we're still thinking.
People that are raising funds for him, and people that support him, that there's something wrong. And so far, he voted on the Peru trade deal, voted against the Colombian trade deal since we've been out here. That's a big difference. Did we have something to do with that? I think so. First I said, well, probably not. I think so. If you make them nervous, they will look at the bill and say, what is this? All right? That's why he voted present on the bill that went flying through the House of Representatives. 390 voted for that stupid,
maybe we're going to get arrested after
rotten bill.
Yeah, it's our buddies. Well, that's how we started out this whole, hey, maybe this guy will get arrested. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, darn it.
Girlfriend.
Darn it. I was hoping they were here to get the...
Last week, the security people started.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
It's like deja vu. We're right back to day one. Almost. No, not quite. Not quite. Not even. Not even.
This time we just told him to go away.
Yeah.
Well, you can go tell him. We were in there a little while ago talking to his assistant, Willie Smith. So.
It's so funny. I think it is just right now. I mean, all the way to the last second.
And then we're looking for indictment.
How awesome would that be? Oh, yeah.
That's a great get-up.
So we have days.
Yeah.
90 minutes is all it takes.
Well, we really let Portland know our message. I mean, we've been out here as activists and steadily, consistently, diligently.
We got our chickens over there.
Yep, I got to get a good shot of the old chickens.
Oh, yeah, we got the chickens. See, this is a non-partisan protest. This is Harry Reid. Harry Reid has been looking bad lately. This is Nancy Pelosi. Nancy's not looking too good, but Harry looks a lot worse than Nancy. Harry looked like an idiot on this latest thing from Illinois.
5 days, Bush exile.
I'm not a lawyer, but I could have figured that one out, Harry.
Flag's still at half-mast.
Yeah, the flag is at half-mast because we know people are dying.
Yeah.
And
probably quite a few have died as every time we come out here the list grows.
yeah, in the last 2 years, probably 700 of our fathers, sons, brothers, aunts have died in either Iraq or Afghanistan. And now we have Gaza. And you know what the sad part about, one of the really sad things that happened in Gaza,
I'm listening.
The Israelis are using our language. The Israelis' battle cry was shock and awe. That's what they were saying. They were using our language. Shock and awe. Let's bomb some kids.
Yeah. Yeah, horrific things are going on over there.
It's over 1,000. It's over 1,000. There's 300 kids that have been slaughtered. The Israelis have stopped all reporters going in, have refused to let people go in with humanitarian aid, only buckling under pressure now. I mean, they almost sank a ship with one of our ex-Congress people on it. The Dignity tried to get in to Gaza, and the Israelis rammed it. Mm-hmm. They took on water. They had to go into Lebanon. They would have sank.
Cynthia McKinney was on that.
Cynthia McKinney was on that ship.
I've been reading reports they're shooting at people fleeing hospitals.
That's right.
A lady had a white flag that was running out of a hospital, and she was snipered, shot.
The UN originally thought about a week ago that the buildings that were marked UN, the schools, the office spaces that were marked UN would be safe havens. So where did the people flock to? They flocked to those buildings.
Yeah.
So what did the Israelis do? They bombed those buildings. They're not bombing an army. They're bombing civilians.
Yeah.
They're using phosphorus. That is clear as hell now, which is a violation. And it looks like they may be using also cluster bombs. So it's
horrible. And then, you know, the war in Iraq is still not over either. There's still crap going on over there that now we're juggling that issue still.
Would somebody please ask one of the politicians that yell, "We're winning"? Winning what? Just ask them, what is it that we're winning? When they say, well, we're winning in Iraq, what is it that we're winning?
Boy, look at
only 7 or 14 or 20 or 25 of our guys were slaughtered this month. That's winning.
And you look at that country, both these countries we're talking about, and they're getting destroyed. They're rubble. It's just destroyed.
When we went in and we were talking to the staff, one of the points I was making to Willie was, please send this up the line. No human being has ever won in Afghanistan. No one. You can go back to the Romans, you can go back to the Greeks, you can do the Ottoman Empire, you can do the Nazis, you can do the Italians. Anybody that tried to take Afghanistan has gone down the tubes, including the USSR. So I'm hoping Willie sends a message up that Obama's got to rethink this. You know, sending 30,000 troops into Afghanistan is nuts. Absolutely nuts. It's Waterloo all over again. It's disaster of the USSR. It's Bonaparte being slaughtered. It's the English being slaughtered. It's never worked in Afghanistan. Stay away from it. Get out.
Yeah.
And try to repair it from outside. You know, use Jordan. Use some of our friends in the area. Use Jordan. Use the Egyptians. But get the Americans out of there.
What was now? I know there was some 9/11 stuff that we went out kicking ass around the world. Then we're looking for weapons of mass destruction, and then Afghanistan, is that back to 9/11 stuff? I don't even know why we're in Afghanistan.
During the campaign, Obama, one of his battle cries was, Bush invaded the wrong country. That's true. I don't have a problem with that. Invading a country is wrong. So you can't tell me, well, he invaded Iraq. He should have used the 150,000 troops in Afghanistan. Afghanistan just refused to turn over bin Laden. That's what they did. The Taliban said, no, you're not going to get him. So we invaded.
Oh, okay.
We knocked down a government that was a terrible government. Taliban.
Grant you, yes, we agree.
But it was the government. Tore it down. And we had no idea what the hell to replace it with. So now we're just stuck. We have,
in a quagmire.
We have a leader of Afghanistan that's really the mayor of Kabul. That's it. He doesn't control anything outside of the city.
We can indict him though. Indict. Hey, it's never too late, is it? No. Jeez. What's that?
Vince Bugliosi's book, Prosecution of Bush for Murder. And there's no statute of limitations.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, anybody, you know, I gave the book to a friend of mine. I said, now go to law school and I'll help you get elected and then you prosecute him. I mean, this, you know.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is he can't escape, and we're going to, you know, just keep the heat on.
Right from the horse's mouth.
There is no statute of limitations on murder. And I don't know if you've read the book or not.
No, I haven't.
If you get a chance to read it, it's a great read. It's a slow read because it's, you know, the legal case for any district attorney, in any jurisdiction where somebody's died, can make the case for a murder case against it. And he does a fabulous job. You know, he's the guy who put Manson away.
He's the guy what?
He's the guy who put Manson away, so he knows a mass murderer when he sees one.
And the name of that book was?
The Prosecution of Bush for Murder.
Ooh, okay.
Vince Bugliosi.
Okay.
Highly recommend it. And so just because he's leaving, it wouldn't even matter if he pardoned himself federally. The state would have a separate jurisdiction as a separate sovereign to try him for murder.
Okay.
So, you know, I encourage you to read it, or anybody to read it.
Yeah.
And I think it gives them kind of some hope.
Good. Good info.
That'll be my,
are expressing their opinion too and doing stuff. I mean, it may not accomplish that a lot directly, but